We all have to quit fooling around and get to work and make a fight for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Pro boxing fans, we're here in London. It's Fury versus Ngannou. With me, Hall of Famer Bob Arum. Bob, always a pleasure seeing you in the UK. How are you, sir?
Really nice, great to be here. I mean, I'm really blown away because the historic nature of this event. If people have followed mixed martial arts, followed Ngannou, he's a tremendous puncher, probably the best puncher in the history of the UFC. And Fury is correct because he's a master boxer and he punches well. So this is going to be a really, I think, interesting fight. Really interesting. It's going to be very fun to watch.
I want to ask you, is this a more dangerous fight than the Chisora fight that he fought against last time?
Absolutely. This Ngannou hits harder than either Chisora or Dillian Whyte. And when you're in with a puncher like that, and you're not in perfect 100% shape, that's when you can get knocked out.
After this fight, providing your fighter beats Ngannou, and a lot of people are saying, listen, this should be Tyson's win, are you going to push for that Usyk fight? Is that what we're looking at next?
Absolutely. Everybody wants to see that fight. There should, at some point in time, we all have to quit fooling around and get to work and make a fight for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Eddie Hearn's talking about drug testing at this present time and saying, you know, every promoter should be testing their main events or their cards, every card. What's the situation with this card, and how do you respond back to Eddie in regards to that?
Well, we believe in VADA, and I don't know a main event that we've had where we haven't tested the fighters through VADA, and I think that is appropriate because nobody wants, as we've had in some of Eddie's fights, a fighter is considered dirty after the fight takes place. We should have testing beforehand, so a dirty fighter is not allowed in the ring.
And Eddie Hearn saying Tyson Fury is only after the money. This fight's a money fight. Also, Tony Bellew is saying this fight's a freak show. What do you say in regards to that?
Well, Eddie should learn from his father. His father was a great friend of mine, and Eddie should butt out of fights that he's not involved in, because people say, well, he's just jealous, he's a competitor, and he doesn't look good doing that. I'm not going to criticize any of Eddie Hearn's fights because it's not my business to do that. And Eddie got to learn a lesson. He's a young guy who has really so full of himself that he feels that he is able to comment on other people's fights even where he has no involvement.
Do you want to talk about a few of your fighters before I let you go? Shakur Stevenson, Martin, what's the latest with that fight? Have you got a date for that fight yet?
Yeah, we do. That fight is signed. It'll be the Thursday in November, I think it's the 18th, the week of the Formula One big race in Las Vegas. It'll be on a Thursday night. But that fight's signed, and I believe the semi-main event will be a big fight for Jared Anderson.
Interesting. Lomachenko, what's the latest with Vasiliy?
Well, we're going to. Loma feels that he was cheated out of the fight with Haney, and that the fight was debatable as far as who won it. I think he's taking some time off, and maybe we'll look to match him with Camboza in Australia next year.
What about the monster Inoue? What's the latest with him?
The monster. The monster is going to fight in December in Japan, hopefully against the Filipino kid that has the 2 other titles.
Just your thoughts on talks about possibly a Canelo versus Crawford fight. A lot of people are saying, listen, maybe Crawford and Canelo need to mix it up, show who's the best. What do you make of that?
Well, you'd have to favor Canelo in the fight because he's bigger, stronger guy. But we promoted so many Crawford fights, and he is a tremendous, tremendous talent. So I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight. Although, obviously, the big favorite is Canelo in that fight.
Just a final one before I let you go. Breaking news in the UK, Bomac, the trainer of Crawford's, been arrested for possession of a firearm. What do you make of that situation?
I really, I'm shocked. What's he doing with a goddamn gun? I mean, again, so much damage is caused in the United States with the everybody or many people have firearms, but you don't take a firearm over to UK, which has sensible gun laws. But again, I don't know anything about it. I know that Bomac is a nice guy and a decent man, so I wish him the best, but I can't comment on it.
Bob Arum, always a pleasure talking to yourself, sir, and no doubt we'll see you on Fight Week in Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's right.